Make the ground shake.
Yo, what is going on, guys? Brisk here, and today we're going to be going over a brand new topic in TD Ameritrade's Thinkorswim. Today, we're going to be looking at the drawings on the chart, which is one of the essential tools that traders use to determine certain pattern emergences, certain breakouts, and certain inevitable collapses of your favorite equities on the US market. You can go reach your drawings from the top-hand side of the screen. If you click on this drop-down menu, from the blue taskbar, you should see drawings. Drawings are very essential, as I mentioned before. You can actually see what your chart is doing based on these certain functions. Now you can see your pointer, which is right over here. You can see your pan. Now these two functions are quite unique in the sense that you can use your pointer to zoom in on certain time frames, and you can use your pan to zoom in and out of certain time frames as well. So I'm going to be providing you an example of what the pointer does. When you go to the pointer, it's literally just your actual mouse, and when you click and drag across the screen, it zooms in for that rectangle you just created. Now, you can also zoom in further as much as you want to a singular candlestick if need be. Now, in order to zoom out, you have to click this bottom part over here, zoom out all the way back till you're right at base 1. You can also go and see your pan feature. Now, your pan feature allows you to swipe all the way across your screen without having to mess up any of the drawings within your chart. If you zoom in and you want to go back within that zoom to a particular time frame in the past, you can use your pan feature to go as far back as you need. There's also certain things you can use to determine patterns on the chart, and that's including your trend line. Your trend line gives you a solid indication of how a particular equity is moving throughout the course of time. For example, if we wanted to see and analyze the trend line of this particular equity, we can draw the trend lines for the support and resistance levels and figure out a consolidation range where after support is met, this is where my entry would be, you would see that there's an inevitable breakout. As I've mentioned so many times before, using these patterns will not help you predict the price level of an equity. It will simply help you make a more well-informed trade. Essentially, this right here was confirmation, because what happened was the entire equity broke out over here, used this as a support level, and then continued to move up. This would have been a great scalp on the short term. Some more drawing tools that you can use are price levels. Price levels help you indicate some nice key support levels and some nice key resistance levels. Essentially, this will help you figure out your consolidation range further. Now, if you really wanted to see and supplement your trend line, you can give yourself some nice support levels based on previous price action history. So you can mark this level over here for $14.66. You can mark this level right over here. For sake of repetition, I'll go over it again. In order to clear your drawing set, you right click on the chart and you'll pull up a nice menu over here. In this menu, you can clear your drawing set, which will revert your chart back to its initial position. Now, let's go over to the price level and figure out the consolidation range for this chart. Mark the high level within the range and mark the low level within the range. You can also find some nice key support levels and some nice key resistance levels in between. This will help you understand exactly what levels you're looking for when you're making a nice trade. You don't want to assume that this is going to be a support level. However, based on previous price action, you see that this was a previous resistance level. You see that this was also a previous resistance level as well, a support rather, that dropped and used that particular resistance level as a means to go more down, found the support right here, ended up going up. So these are just some examples of what you can use within the drawing tools. There's also a nice key text note area. You can make some notes for yourself in order to go back to a particular level within the chart. So for example, if I wanted to say that this was a good resistance level, I can mark resistance here. If I can spell, okay. Then we got that, and we know for a fact that this was a good resistance level in the past, therefore it might hold true for the future. So, with that being said, you can also mark using your text note support, and you can give yourself some nice things on the chart, personalizing it for your trading experience. Under drawings, you also have certain arrows. Now, if you wanted to tell yourself that, okay, this was a nice bullish candlestick with some great volume today, and you wanted to mark it and you didn't know how, this is the way that you do it. it'll be an arrow pointing towards the price level or initial thing that you really wanted to mark. You can also imagine that there will be plenty of uses for an arrow when you're looking at certain things in the future as well. If you go over to the drawing tools and you see the oval over here, you can also mark some key things for yourself to visualize. Now over here, the first thing that I see when I'm looking at this is this ridiculous gap down. And I want to be very, very wary of this bearish candlestick. In order for this gap to actually have filled its purpose, it's going to have to do exactly what I just said. It's going to have to fill. So in order for it to fill, you can go over here, zoom into the time frame, see the key support and resistance levels, and make your trade based on that. More likely than not, gaps will fill. And when they do, it will provide opportunities for more support and more resistance in the future. Now zooming back out, let's go over the rectangle feature. This will allow you to mark certain time frames within your equity analysis to give you a more informed range for when you needed to zoom in, or if you need to zoom in. You can use this rectangle to zoom into that time frame and analyze the candlestick patterns more in depth. Now if we zoom right back out and see where we started with a blank graph. We have all of these drawings on it, and you're basically in a better position than you were before, because now you have all of your personalized items within the chart that you need. If you wanted to adjust the appearance of it, you can right click on it, edit your properties. Once you're editing your properties, you can change any aspect about it, including but not limited to your color, your size, whether it's bold or italic. That's obviously for text only, but you get the point. If you wanted to change the color of your rectangle, right click, edit properties. You can change the color to anything that you really wanted, and it gives you a nice little, obviously you can't see anything, but a nice change of pace as well. And if you wanted to go back to your original, color, you can go back to it, and whatever works for you, whatever aesthetics you see fit is what you'd want to put on your chart. Now let's clear the drawing set over here and return back to the drawings. Now, aside from all of these very basic functions, you can also get more in depth and see everything related to Fibonacci. Now, Fibonacci is a study used for very, very experienced traders to have a more solidified trading plan. You can see the Fibonacci retracements, which is still a very complex concept, but nonetheless, one of the easier ones to understand. It's essentially figuring out support and resistance levels. If you wanted to get yourself a nice range, you can figure out where the support levels are, where the resistance levels are, and where you have opportunities to make more trades. And that's essentially the purpose of a Fibonacci retracement. I'm going to be honest with you, I really have no idea what the other Fibonacci tools do, but if you guys have any ideas, please let me know in the comments down below. I really would love to see anything related to it, and hopefully I can become a more well-informed trader like probably some of you guys are. So with that being said, let's go back and see exactly what you can do to pin your favorite tools in the toolbar over here. Now, you can either pin or unpin. When you pin it, you can obviously not add or edit to it, but by clicking the setting bar over here, you can add your buttons if need be. I really use the pointer a whole lot, the trend line, the price level, rectangle, oval, text node, and Fibonacci. So what it does is it provides me the quick tools that I need right at the top over here without having to click on drawings, drawing tools, pointer. Instead of doing that, all I have to do is click pointer, right? It saves me 2 keystrokes, which is the best thing that you can be thinking of when a trader in this market. Saving time is essential. It is the difference between getting a good trade and a really bad trade. Seconds, milliseconds, it all comes down to that. So essentially, those are all of the tools that you can use within TD Ameritrade's Thinkorswim. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I really hope that you would join me on some future videos. Brisk out.